Good evening. Welcome back to the Bible Study Tour. Episode 42. If you haven't yet, please comment and subscribe to my channel, By Student Gaming. And hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when the next Bible video comes out. And leave a like if God uses to encourage you. Today we're looking at Jeremiah chapter 42. And it's titled, Warning Against Going to Egypt. As always, we'll start with verse 1. And we'll go all the way to the end, to verse 22. Now, with that being said, let us begin the study. Then all the commanders of the forces, and Johanan, the son of Kareah, and Jezaniah, the son of Hoshea, and all the people, from the least to the greatest, came near and said to Jeremiah, the prophet, let our plea for mercy come before you, and pray to the Lord your God for us, for all this remnant, because we are left with but a few as always see us. That the Lord your God may show us the way we should go, and the thing that we should do. Jeremiah the prophet said to them, I have heard you. Behold, I will pray to the Lord your God according to your request. And whenever the Lord answers you, I will tell you. I will keep nothing back from you. Then they said to Jeremiah, May the Lord be a true and faithful witness against us, if we do not act according to all the word with which the Lord your God sends you to us. Whether it is good or bad, we will obey the voice of the Lord our God, to whom we are sending you, that it may be well with us when we obey the voice of the Lord our God. At the end of 10 days, the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah. Then he summoned Johanan the son of Kareah, and all the commanders of the forces who were with him, and all the people, from the least to the greatest, and said to them, Thus says the Lord, the God of Israel, to whom he sent me to present your plea for mercy before him. If you will remain in this land, and I'll build you up, and not pull you down, I will plant you, and not pluck you up, for I relent of the disaster that I did to you. Do not fear the king of Babylon, of whom you are afraid. Do not fear him, declares the Lord, for I am with you, to save you, and to deliver you from his hand. I will grant you mercy, that he may have mercy on you, unless you remain in your own land. But if you say, We will not remain in this land, disobeying the voice of the Lord your God, and saying, No, we will go to the land of Egypt, and saying, No, we will go to the land of Egypt, we shall not see war, or hear the sound of the trumpet, or be hungry for bread, and we will dwell there. Then hear the word of the Lord, O remnant of Judah. Thus says the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, if you set your faces to enter Egypt, and go to live there, Then the sword that you fear shall overtake you there in the land of Egypt, and the famine of which you are afraid shall follow close after you to Egypt, and there you shall die. All the men who set their faces to go to Egypt to live there shall die by the sword, by famine, and by pestilence. They shall have no remnant or survivor from the disaster that I will bring upon them. For thus says the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, as my anger and my wrath were poured out on the inhabitants of Jerusalem, so my wrath will be poured out on you when you go to Egypt. You shall become an execration, a horror, a curse, and a taunt. You shall see this place no more. The Lord said to you, O remnant of Judah, do not go to Egypt. Know for a certainty that I have warned you this day, but you have gone astray at the cost of your lives. For you sent me to the Lord your God, saying, pray to us, to the Lord our God, and whatever the Lord our God says, declare to us, and we will do it. And I have this day declared it to you, that you have not obeyed the voice of the Lord your God in anything that he sent me to tell you. Now therefore, know for a certainty that you shall die by the sword, by famine, and by pestilence, in the place where you desire to go to live. Alright, that was a good chapter. Now we shall move on to the explanations. Starting with the explanation, verses 1 through 6. Then Johanan, the son of Kareah, sorry, one second. Then Johanan, the son of Kareah, and all the people came to Jeremiah and asked him to pray to the Lord for the remnant of Judah. They wanted Jeremiah to ask whether they should stay in the land of Judah or go to Egypt. Then Jeremiah told them he would pray to the Lord on their behalf, and would bring them back an answer, and would hold nothing back from them. They also told Jeremiah that if they didn't obey what the Lord said, then let God be true to his word. The people said that if the answer was favorable or unfavorable, they would obey what God said, so that things would be well for them when they obey. Johanan and the people of Judah planned to flee to Egypt for fear of the Babylonians coming to destroy them because of the murder of the governor that wasn't their fault. The people inquired of the Lord, which was the right thing to do, so they could know where to go. Alright, now moving on to explanation. Verses 7 through 17. After 10 days had passed, the Lord gave Jeremiah his answer. Then Jeremiah told Johanan and the people that the Lord said he wanted them to stay in the land of Judah, and he would rebuild them. The Lord also said that he had relented of his judgment. God also told them not to fear the king of Babylon, because he was with them and would save and deliver them from him. The Lord would make the king of Babylon have mercy on them, and they would stay in the land. However, if the people refused to obey God and fled to Egypt, hoping to avoid war and live in safety, then the Lord would send King Nebuchadnezzar to destroy them in Egypt, and they would all die of the same things that God used to destroy Jerusalem. Nobody from the remnant would survive. The fact that Jeremiah had to pray for 10 days shows that God always answers prayers on his time and not our time. And he answers them according to his will. The Lord reminded the people that his judgment and wrath were through. The Lord was ready to have mercy on his people again and rebuild the land before the captives returned after the 70-year captivity. The Lord would make King Nebuchadnezzar have mercy on the remnant and would do no harm to them. The Lord would save and deliver them. They just had to believe and obey. If they went to Egypt, then God's wrath would be rekindled because of their continuing disobedience and lack of faith in Him. The people could choose to listen to their fear of Babylon or the fear of the Lord. They were thinking that Egypt would be a good refuge for them from the Babylonians. It would provide them with food. God gave them a warning not to go to Egypt. So you think they would listen, considering how their disobedience to God turned out last time. Alright, moving on to the final explanation. Verses 18 through 22. The Lord reminded the remnant that if they went to Egypt, then He would pour out His wrath on Egypt the same way He did to Jerusalem. He told them that they would become a curse to the people around them and would never see the land of Judah again. Jeremiah told them that if they were going to Egypt, then it would be at the cost of their lives. Jeremiah also told them that he did what they asked him, and they said they would do what the Lord said. The people didn't obey anything the Lord said to Jeremiah, and the people would certainly perish in Egypt. Jeremiah was already expecting them to go to Egypt because none of the people listened to what the Lord said through him. The prophecies that the people didn't listen to all came true, just as God said. Why would they stubbornly repeat the same mistake that cost them the loss of Jerusalem, their people, and their nation? If the people went to Egypt, God would make them an example for all nations about what happens when you stubbornly disobey Him. When you stubbornly disobey Him, He would make the remnant utterly desolate. Egypt would be a cemetery and not a refuge for the remnant. Alright, there's another short chapter. Thank you for listening. I really hope that this encouraged you. And they will continue to listen to the studies in the future. Remember to comment and subscribe for more Bible studies. Thanks, and all glory be to Christ Jesus alone. Good night.